Hey, what's up, everyone? So today we'll be talking about the sin of greed, how to stop sabotaging your trades. My name is Lawrence. I'm a full-time trader, 250,000 funded through TopStep. And before we get started, if you're interested in learning how to trade or to better your trading, click on the links in my bio or the description below to join my free community. It's free for right now because it's still under construction, but I'll be switching to paid access once I drop my day trading course in there, along with other free content and features. But once I drop the day trading course, it's going to switch to paid, but if you get it for free, you'll have lifetime access, so don't worry. All right, let's get started. So first, what is greed? I pretty much paraphrased it, and I define greed as never being satisfied with what you have or a blinding desire of what you think you're missing. I underline think because when it comes to thoughts, perception, and beliefs, that's what's going to determine if we're going to be consistently profitable or not. If you truly think that you're missing a lot, then you're going to be more greedy, right? And you're going to have a blinding desire to get more. But if you feel like the world is full of abundance and you have everything that you need, although that you do want more or you want to reach the next level, which is completely fine, then you probably won't be as greedy or have such a blinding desire to get things. So thoughts, beliefs, and perception, they go a long way. They define everything in how we see the world and what we have, how we see our lives. So with that being said, you'll stay stuck in the same losing cycle until you become aware of what you're doing wrong. Okay? It's one of those things where it's like, you don't know what you don't know, right? And the only way that you can know that you don't know something is becoming aware. And if you want to become aware, you have to be mindful. And in order to be mindful, you need to be present, and you gain that through meditation, okay? Or prayer. Prayer works as well. So my goal here in this video is to pretty much make you aware of the presence of greed before it hijacks your mental, like literally takes control over your mind, and you start making irrational decisions that can cost you a lot of money in trading. So I made a nice little list of inner dialogues, thoughts, or even dialogues in general. You might say these things out loud, right? These are pretty much like thought pieces or feelings that once you experience these, just understand that, greed has entered the building, right? And you're very susceptible to making bad decisions. So number one, you want more money. You're making money trading with 2 contracts, but now you want to make more money, so you start trading with 6 contracts. This is pretty much saying that you could be going on a good win streak or performing consistently, and we come from confidence and then it turns into arrogance, right? Or maybe you think in your mind like, I want to take advantage of this winning streak, so let me go ahead and up the size and win more money. Those are thoughts of greed, okay? Especially when it's outside of your risk parameters. When you start trading with 2 contracts and then jump to 6, that induces a lot of emotions, right? Because you're not used to trading with that much size, and you won't feel it until you press the buy button. Okay, so before you press the buy button, you'll be like, it's fine, I'm confident. And then you hit that buy button and whole mood will change. Okay, so that is a form of greed. And I know you're probably thinking, okay, so when is it good to actually size up? And that's based on your risk parameters, right? Like me, I do a percentage. So this is a bit aggressive, but I trade about 10% of my account. So if my account is at $1,000, I'm going to trade $100 per trade. If my account is at $2,000, I'm going to trade $200. If it's at $10,000, I'm going to trade $1,000. And I just make sure that my actual trading size is the same size as my mental capital, right? Because you can have $100,000 in your trading account, but if your mental capital, or if you can only manage $1,000 before your emotions start interrupting, then that 100,000 is going to go to 1,000. Okay, your mind doesn't reach how much money you have or how much money you want. The amount of money that you have is going to reach where your mind is. Okay. Number 2. You want more money. You hit your setup with perfect execution, sell for a profit, and then price keeps running. Now you're thinking, damn, I should have stayed in. If I held a little bit longer, I would have made X amount of money. Or let me jump back in, it's not done yet. Or let me get a little bit of money, let me clean up, right? When you have these thoughts, greed has entered the building. Your risk reward may be screwed, and also you're not going to be grateful for what you just did. And as you can see, those thoughts are pretty toxic. You feel me? Like, I've had them several times. Sometimes I still do, right? But I don't necessarily act on them as much as I used to, because I always look at my performance, right? Like, we're so quick to forget what we just did. If I executed perfectly and I did everything that I was supposed to do, I get more caught up in my controllables. I get more caught up in my perfect execution in the things that I can control, right? Like pressing the buy button when my entry is there, setting the proper stop loss, setting the proper profit target, setting the proper risk parameters, right? And that's where my happiness is and my satisfaction is. It's not wanting more necessarily, right? But it's more so doing the same things over and over again and perfecting my execution. In turn, that will just give me more on the back end. It's kind of like a byproduct. Number 3, you want to make money. You either see your setup but didn't take it for whatever reason, then price starts running. Now you're sick that you missed out. So you're experiencing FOMO at this point. And you're thinking, I would have made money on this. And if you haven't noticed, there's a lot of shoulda, coulda, woulda and ifs. If you're doing should've, could've, would've, or if you're saying these terms, you're probably being greedy at the moment. Basically, what this is saying is if your setup was there and you didn't take the trade for whatever reason, it doesn't matter. You didn't take the trade and then it actually worked in your favor. Either you were fearful that you were going to lose, or maybe you experienced recency bias where yesterday this exact same setup was here and you lost, and now you don't want the same thing to happen again. For whatever reason, you didn't take the trade, it would have worked out in your favor. Now you have FOMO, and now you're dealing with constant regret. And then you're thinking about how much money I would have made. And now that you're thinking about how much money you would have made, the next trade, you're probably going to try to make up for this trade, okay? And double down on that. Number 4, you want to make money. You lose a trade, now you're desperate to make your money back right now, today. And this normally comes in 2 forms, right? So not only are you in the mindset of forcing the outcome at this very moment, like you're going to tell the market exactly what's going to happen, but there's 2 ways that this can happen. It's going to be out of ego or it's going to be out of desperation, right? So the ego is going to say, I will make my money back today. I will make it back right now. Where desperation is pretty much like, please God, I want to make my money back. I don't want more than what I already had. Just bring me back to break even and I'm done for the day. Like, you're desperate. It's pitiful, right? So you're going to experience one of these 2. But once you do, now that you know what this is, understand that this is greed mixed with fear. A nice little mix of fear in there too. Okay, moving on. Number 5, you want to make money. You feed into the hype of everyone on social media talking about the next meme coin, AMC or GameStop, not knowing by the time something is trending, it's too late. You invest your hard-earned money while the stock is at all-time high just to watch it plummet, right? So this is investing and day trading, right? Say, for example, if you're in a Discord group, right, and somebody's calling out areas of interest where they're going to buy, where they're going to sell, and you follow these things. This is a form of greed. Not only are you listening to what other people are saying and depending on what other people are doing, these are like instruments and stocks that you are unfamiliar with, that you don't normally trade. And you're only doing it to make money based on what other unreliable sources are. And in trading, there are no reliable sources because anything can happen and absolutely nobody knows what's going to actually occur, right? And lastly, number 6, you want to make money. You find a setup but don't back test it to know how often it loses or what the right profit target and stop loss should be. So you trade it, lose, and panic, not realizing it's a part of the setup's win rate, or you held too long for what the trade could actually deliver. Basically what I'm saying here is you're trading a setup. I don't know where you got the setup from, if you found it yourself or you stole somebody else's, but you don't back test it and analyze it enough to see how well it works, right? And you could trade the setup, but you may not have the correct expectations on that setup, right? You're probably wanting more than what it can actually deliver on a daily basis. And you might not even consider that this setup might yield big, but the win rate might be 20%. So out of 10 trades, you're bound to lose 8. And if you're not prepared for that mentally, then those losses can get to you. If you have not noticed yet, all of these inner dialogues have one thing in common. Actually 2. You either want to make money or you want to make more money, okay? When it comes to trading, if you want to be consistently profitable, stop thinking about the money. Stop trading for the money. Turn off your P&L. The money does not exist right now, okay? Completely disconnect yourself from the money because the money is the outcome. We cannot control the outcome, all right? What we can control is the process. So throughout these series and these workshops that I'm giving right out for free on YouTube, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to enjoy the process because I am an outcome-based person by default. I need results, right? Like if somebody tells me something I don't trust people's words. I need to see, I'm skeptical. I need to see the outcome. I need to see the result. So trading was very hard for me and still can be hard at times because I'm naturally outcome based. But I'm getting way better at becoming process oriented, right? And being happy with the process and gaining satisfaction with the process. And like I said, if you want to learn these things at a further depth, click on the links below or in my bio and schedule a one-on-one consultation call or join my free community where I'll be showing you how to do these things. Moving on to the next one. This is major, okay? Greed distorts perception. It distorts your perception. It literally stops you from seeing reality as it is. So when you're in a greedy mindset, you don't see the market for what it is. You see it for what you are. And that's why I put these inner dialogues so you can be aware of greed entering your mind and mentally hijacking you. Okay. So when greed has entered your mind, it starts to distort your perception so you can't see reality for what it is. Reality is not reality. You're seeing it through the lens of your mindset and your own emotions at this moment, which completely clouds your judgment, and you won't be able to consistently profit off of these emotional decisions that you're making. And it's kind of not your fault, but it is your job to make sure that you're aware and that you don't act on these impulses. Which leads us to confirmation bias. Only seeing information that supports with your view of things. I know that everybody knows somebody that's like this. And we're all going to agree, and for right now, you're like this. So we're all going to agree that you are toxic. Okay? You're toxic. And it's okay. It's exciting, right? We all need a little spice in our life. So while you're toxic and being toxic, it destroys your ability to trade and leaves you unable to trade responsibly. But it's okay. I'm going to teach you how to be healthy. So the origin of greed. Greed normally comes from two things. Scarcity that derives from insecurity, or grandiosity deriving from feeling invincible and entitled that leads to recklessness. So the question is, why are you greedy? Right? And this is going to stem deep. Like, you're not greedy just because you want to make money in the markets. This is a part of who you are. So we got to go a little bit deeper. All right. And it comes down to one thing. You're either insecure or you're reckless. Insecure is a lack of confidence in yourself, your own abilities, decisions, and worth. Or reckless. You act without good sense, logic, experience, or wisdom. So you're one of these two things, and I'm pretty sure by listening to either one of these things, because they're pretty different, right? Like, they're not very similar. You know which one you are. But no matter which one you are, we're going to work through them. But as of now, since you're either insecure or reckless, please understand that you are bugging. There's my bug. There's you. That's you. You're the one. You're the green one. And because you're bugging, you're not going to yield any results. And if we want to yield results, we need to recalibrate your mind. We need to redefine and reframe whatever your belief system is, whatever your thoughts are, how you perceive things. That's the only way to maintain consistent profitability trading, is you have to genuinely have a new belief system, right? You have to fix the flawed one. You got to patch it up. So moving on to the antidote of greed. Since greed comes from insecurity, right? Like, it stems from insecurity, the insecure mindset, which is a poor mindset. That means the antidote for greed would be abundance. It will be an abundance mindset. It will be wealth. Because think of it like this. If you're being greedy, basically what you're saying is you don't have, or you're not secure. Think of it like this. If there was 1 million Chick-fil-A sandwiches, right, with Polynesian sauce, right, or Chick-fil-A sauce on the table, and there was 100 people, would you guys be ready to tear limb for limb for a Chick-fil-A sandwich? I don't think you would, right? You're not going to act irrational. You're not going to do anything crazy because there's 1 million Chick-fil-A sandwiches and there's 100 of you guys. Where if you haven't eaten in 3 days along with 5 other people and there was only 1 Chick-fil-A sandwich, bro, a fight's going to break out. That's insecurity. That's what insecurity do. That's what survival mode does. You're not in survival mode right now. And if you are, you shouldn't be trading. So I'm going to help you remove that survival mode, that insecure mindset, and bring it into abundance and wealth. So to help you get started, I listed 4 new beliefs that you can adopt. The first one is you are enough, you have enough, and you can make enough. Okay? And I need you to truly believe that. All right? Let the church say amen. Number 2, there is no shortage of trading opportunities in the market or the world. All right? Like, there isn't any. There also isn't no shortage of money. There are trillions of dollars circling the world economy, way more than there are people on this earth. Somebody always have to buy, somebody always have to sell. There is no shortage of money, okay? There is more than enough. Number 4, show self-compassion as you give yourself time to grow and develop. Let the church say amen, okay? So when you trade, forgive yourself, all right? Give yourself time to grow. You have time, okay? You have time. Give it to yourself. Be gracious to yourself, all right? These are 4 beliefs. Now, here's where the real value of the video comes in, okay? Because a lot of these things you already know or you had some sense of knowing, but you're still doing greedy actions. And why is that? Okay? And that's what we're getting into. Because I could sit here and tell you, okay, don't size up, don't over leverage, right? Like, stay within your risk parameters, and tell you to do all these different things that you already know that you need to do. But why aren't you doing it? It's because you haven't reached the pivot. Okay? I named it the pivot. It's a process to transform your trading mindset by turning your old limiting beliefs, right, into new empowering ones. So basically what this means is there's a whole cognitive process, right, that you have to go through in order to break down your limiting and your scarcity and your insecure beliefs that you currently have that is thriving and driving greed. You have to break that down and then build up new habits that is going to empower abundance, leading to consistent profitability and good trading decisions. Okay, so here's the process. So you have to identify what unprofitable trait or habit that you're displaying. So in this situation of greed, are you insecure or reckless? Next, you have to learn about that trait. So in this situation, which is greed, you have to learn about it. Go to ChatGPT, Google it, go on YouTube, learn and study what it is. Learn the direct definitions, the common causes, and the common solutions to this. Moving on to journal. Brain dump equals clarity on paper. And when I say you want to brain dump, you want to take everything that you learned about this trait from YouTube and Google and ChatGPT, and then you want to look at your trading journal and figure out what you're doing and coincide the two. So you want to talk about what happened, what were you trying to obtain, a list of actions that you would rather take than the ones that you actually did, and then what emotions do you need to feel to take those actions to make the resistance less. Because the fact that you're dealing with greed at this moment, that means that you've done a lot in the past and created habits over time. So there's going to be a lot of resistance as you try to rebuild or break down these habits and build brand new ones, okay? So when you actually do a brain dump, it's actually releasing everything. It's kind of like a purge. Like everything that comes into your mind, just write it all out or type it all out, okay? But make sure that these questions are within that. Moving on to reframing, turning negative to positive. Reframe the action or mistake into a new belief that will serve you, right? I gave you about 4 new beliefs. Now, when you brain dump, put it all into context, right? So openly label or openly say, these inner dialogues, these actions, these things that I've done has caused me this amount of pain and suffering and loss. Where I know that these actions will cause me this amount of success. Now we're moving into putting it all together. Make your thoughts a story. So organize your thoughts and lessons into a story. Writing it out cements the process, okay? So first, you identify what traits you are displaying. So are you insecure or are you reckless? Then you learn about that trait, right? So you go to ChatGPT, you go to YouTube, you go to Google, and you learn the textbook definition of it, the causes and the solutions. Then you do a brain dump. So now you have to flush everything out and pretty much purge everything on that table. Understand what you're doing, why you did it, what are the outcomes that you're hoping for, what's a list of actions that you would rather take, and what emotions do you need to feel to have less resistance in order to take these actions. So finally, it's time to reframe. So the point of reframing is to identify the flaws in your natural belief system trying to obtain whatever goal you're trying to get to, and then looking at the beauty in the new belief system, right? And then implementing that. So after you brain dumped and put all of these things together, now you want to put it together and make a story out of it. Cut out the fluff, make it very simple and concise so it makes clear sense. And the last step here will be to create goals and implement the new belief. So we'll need to set minimal, repeatable goals that focus on creating better habits with competitive energy. Small wins build big results. If you're trading, that means that you have a competitive edge. Like if you have not quit trading yet, you have a competitiveness in you and you have something in you that wants better for yourself. So now it's time to leverage that, because that is going to overwhelm any type of unprofitable habit, if it's greed, fear, perfectionism, or recklessness. So what we'll need to do is to set daily goals for our trading, right? And at this point, we want to use Pareto's principle, where 20% of our inputs is going to give us 80% of our results. So all you need is about 2 to 3 goals. If you look through your brain dump, you'll figure out 3 things that can solve everything, and make those your daily goals and grade yourself. So now we're going to gamify it. So do A, B, C, or D. How did I do today? And then over a series of days and trading sessions, you'll begin to see your progress, and then the progress that you don't make or the shortcomings that you have, you'll see where you'll fall short, and then the next day that will be your goal and you'll be on the lookout for that. So now you've reached a whole different level of awareness. So yeah, that's the pivot process. I hope this video brought you guys a lot of value, and if you liked it, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram, Threads, Twitter, all that good stuff, and I'll see you on the next one.